Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Student Branding TV. I'm Amber and Lambke,
And I'm Kade Dworkin.
and today we're talking about stuff. In college, we were both having this conversation, kind of brainstorming, what this week we should focus on. And we both came to the realization that one, we're trying to streamline our lives and get rid of all of this stuff that we've accumulated. And then two, it kind of transitioned into, okay, when did this start happening? And it was college. In college, you start accumulating all of these things that you think you need, but you really don't. Right now, I'm selling my car. I literally have cut half my wardrobe, half my shoe collection, all of these things that I felt like I need and felt like I could attach value to when they really don't matter. So, Kate, your thoughts?
I so completely agree, right? I mean, as you may or may not notice, given the different camera angle, I've actually rearranged the furniture in my apartment, which is much a thing for me because I, re-signed my lease here. So, in order to kind of create some kind of difference, every time I do that, I actually rearrange all the furniture in my house. So we're in a different room now. And as a result of that, though, I saw all the amount of stuff that was sitting on my desk, which started to get me into the process of thinking about all the books. And if you go back to the previous episodes, you saw that I had an entire bookcase full of nothing but books. And then on top of that, I actually had another one in another room. So, kind of my mission for at least the first month of, or at least the remaining part of 2009 and the first month of 2010 is to literally clear out all this stuff. And it's not so much to make me, physically more able to move because I have no intention of going anywhere. I'm very happy here in Arizona. But I need to feel mentally lighter. And getting rid of this stuff, I think, is a big step in that process. So, I know that I feel that way, and I haven't even really made massive motion, but Amber and I were definitely talking beforehand, and she says that she's got, this stuff everywhere right now, and I want to hear a little more on that.
Yeah, it was just, I think, I don't know, I would love to live a life where I literally had like 50 things because I think it's very liberating and it's very free. When I moved from Chicago to San Francisco, I had basically my mom, she owns a company where she sets up design studios. So she gets lots of furniture and lots of cool interior stuff. So she thought she was doing a good thing by giving me all of this furniture, which clearly I was very appreciative. It was awesome. But then when I was taking 2,500 pounds of furniture from Chicago to San Francisco, paying $3,500 to do this, I was thinking to myself, I would have loved to just jumped on a plane with a backpack and, made my way to San Francisco. And I think, Cade made a really good point when he said it's, mental clarity. It's, you don't want, you don't need all of these things. And I guess for me, I think when you have that mental clarity, it's just everything else falls so naturally and easily into place. And I think even though I've wanted this very, simple life, and what was holding me back was the process of having to organize and get rid of. And it seemed so unappealing. But then when I was going through my closet and literally ripping things out, it became this amazing, liberating and energizing exercise of really I haven't worn this in a year. I haven't looked at this book in 2. Why do I still have it? And I think it's very interesting to see the impact it will have on your everyday life and your everyday experiences to get rid of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and there's two pieces to that, right? There's definitely the physical side, which we've touched on. There's that emotional side. But then for me, there's this sense of, people want to keep up with one another. And I think that's a big thing that I know I fell into, especially in my current apartment, right? I've been here now for the better part of 4 years, which is scary. And I've filled this apartment, right? And it is, a nice 1-bedroom apartment, but it was more for posturing than anything else. And then I ended up that I don't have people come over to my house. And that's just because I happen to live at the opposite end of town where all my friends are. So it's easier for me to go to them. And so, I think that I've been rereading Tim Ferriss, and one of the things that he states in there in his 4-Hour Work Week book is that you will fill any space. So if that's time, that's physical space, anything that you have excess of, you will fill it with something. And most of the time, it's stuff you really don't need, you don't want, it has no positive value for you. It's just that you are in a consumerist kind of mentality, an environment where people tell you you need to buy. And that just is something that you do to get that nice little quick sugar high rush of having purchased something. It's not something that will have real positive lasting action. I mean, I'm going to end up making somewhere in the range of about $450 to $500 selling books that were sitting on my shelf.
I think what you're saying, which is really interesting, is that it's kind of, are you doing it for yourself or you're doing it for someone else? Because if you're trying to like set up your house so that it's comfortable for someone else, it's, maybe what you think you should do, or, to make sure that other people are comfortable when they come. But, sometimes you just have to do what's right for you. I brought 400 pounds or whatever of furniture because it would have upset my mom, and I didn't want to, she's like, I gave you all these nice things to like prepare you. And I was like, that's awesome, but I don't really want them. And, and we've had these conversations now. So when she sees this, she's going to laugh, but, it's just, are you doing it for you or are you doing it for someone else? And I think that's just a question as we're entering 2010 and you're about to take on new opportunities, new classes, and, you have everything in front of you. This is your life. What are you doing for you? What is it that you want? And how, what are you doing to get there? And, yeah.
No, I think it's a fantastic thing. It's one of those things where people, think because they're constantly moving while they are in college, especially, and as they're getting ready to move to college, that's a big thing where people begin to accumulate stuff. And it's one of those things where I really, really believe that, it's easier to just purchase things once you get there versus actually having to bring stuff with you. Right. It's one of the nice things about this stuff, and I've had amazing experiences. I know I have when I've needed to go get random things when I'm traveling, right? Finding toothpaste at 2 a.m. in the middle of nowhere where there's no Walmart or no Walgreens makes life really hard. But it's a very interesting story as a result of that. And so I think that that's something that I've had those experiences, and I think that I'm getting closer to the point where I need to do that again. Where I just don't need to feel like I've got stuff. And don't get me wrong, a lot of what I own currently in my apartment is because I wanted to feel like I had a space for other people to come and visit. And I can count on both my hands the number of visitors I've had at my apartment in 4 years. Mm-hmm. So, my perceived function and the reality of function were completely different. So, I really want people to think about that as they are going through the moving process. Some people are changing in between semesters. I know my buddy out in Georgetown definitely just moved because of a situation, and it was easier for him to literally slim everything down, sell it all on Craigslist, yep, move into his new apartment, not have to worry about his stuff being stolen in the new apartment while he's out visiting family. And when he gets back, he'll just sit there and he'll just buy some other stuff. I mean, buy only the necessary stuff because he's in his MBA program. He doesn't need to, furnish an entire 2-bedroom apartment on his own. It just wasn't worth it for him. Not to mention the cash savings, which is huge. Yep. So, but that's where I'm at on this. It sounds like Amber and I are really on the same page on this one right now. And, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch us. I apologize that we missed last week and that, kind of the content kind of felt a little just out of sync. And that was because both of us were traveling a whole bunch over the course of the last few weeks. And we're promising that over the course of 2010 that we're going to continue to try and create positive content that you guys will get value out of. So, if you've got thoughts for what you want to see us talk about and get our perspective on things, send us an email at studentbrandingtv@gmail.com. Also, be sure to check in with what the guys over at studentbranding.com are actually writing about. As I say every week, it continues to blow me away the quality content that Melissa and the gang are producing. So please go and check that out and subscribe, or get the emails when they do come out. And I am completely done. Amber, you got anything else for the crew?
I think you covered it, but yeah, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, tell us what you want to see, because knowing the challenges that you're facing, I was just saying this a few minutes ago, even though we're just like 2 years out of college, it's changed tremendously in terms of, how social technologies are sort of penetrating colleges and whatnot, and like how that impacts your daily life and how you have to, all of your classes and everything else. So, having a good idea of these challenges that you're facing will help us create better content. So would love your thoughts.
Well, thanks guys. Have a good week, and we'll see you on next Tuesday. Bye.
Yep. Bye.